love that.
I love that too.
Yeah, I don't think I should ever change it.
No.
So,
In progress.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Okay, so what will just make this an epic conversation? What would you love to have happen?
Okay, so what do I want to talk about, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
what do you want to get clarity on, or problem to solve, or shifting something? What would you love to have happen?
Okay, so I think for me, kind of where I am at the moment, business wise, so I'm near enough 3 years in, and the current business model is very much, as you'll know, around time for money. And I'm really looking for, ways to explore how I can package differently and maybe refine services so I can offer different services in different ways, so that makes more room to serve in a different way than I am at the moment. Because I'm definitely looking for a life with more freedom, and I don't want to create another 9 to 5 for myself. Yeah, so the live was that resonated with me quite a lot when Lydia commented to say that she feels that pressure to be at the desk 9 to 5, and I'm completely against that. Like, the day should flow, and if work needs to happen at 10 p.m. at night or 6 a.m. in the morning, as long as there is that flow. But I find that I'm probably creating a space that feels like a job, and that's not obviously what I set up a business to do. So I'd like to feel into some goals that would help me create the business space that I wanted to create. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it might be too big for 45 minutes. But...
you are selling your time.
Yes.
And you want to sell something else.
Yes.
Time. Okay. And so by packaging up some things differently.
Yes.
Okay. So do you get a sense of what would be right for you, how you'd know that you'd achieved that? What would it look like?
I think there would definitely be more of the flow that I described. So I'd like the activity to flow with the energy that I have, and if I can feel that happening, I would feel then that I've probably packaged in the right way. So I want a kind of the mixture of working in the way that I do now, because it's very long term and I value long-term relationships, particularly business long-term relationships. And I suppose a fear I have is that if I start packaging things, that might become short-term and volume. And do you know what I mean? So I don't kind of want to kind of have to sell loads of one thing.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't feel energetically good for me. But
no. So what do you get a sense that you are selling something?
No, I get a sense of I am actually selling lots of things, but within a block of time to achieve those lots of things.
Okay. It sort of sounds like a project to me.
Okay.
Is it what you get? What do you get a sense of? It sounds to me when I was just feeling that, I thought, what I get? Can I get a sense of that? It sort of felt like there's a long term. It's not a time, so it's an outcome.
Yes.
That sort of sounds to me like helping people deliver projects of some description. That's what it sort of sounded like to me.
That feels good.
What feels good about it?
The outcome part, because it's helping somebody achieve their end goal, which is what I want to do. It would just be nice to have a mixture of a structure that would be able to achieve that, so it not just be over a period of time and that be the time, but actually the outcome.
Can I just want to check on something? Is this a changing what you're doing or changing how you're selling it?
I think it could be a changing how I'm selling it, but also changing how I'm selling it to myself, possibly how I feel about it. So I might have to have some reframing on how because if, doing a lot of comparisonitis and looking at how other people do things and how people should tell you to do things, and time for money is restrictive on earnings. And one of the things I've been doing this week was around like the goal setting stuff, was to kind of look at some financial targets, because I have a freedom target that I want to reach. Like there's an income goal for by an age that I hit. And if I could bring that forward, that would be even better. But there is a lifestyle attached to that, and that's a lifestyle of being outside more, getting away more, traveling more, looking around more. And I kind of think the time for money is feeling a little bit against that value of mine, of wanting to be out more and traveling more and more free.
Okay.
So
sounds like part of the answer means that you can do whatever you do for people, whatever outcomes you help them, you can help them do it from any location.
Yes.
And you're not fixed to doing a specific time.
That's proven. So I'm definitely comfortable that what I do, I can do from wherever. Mm-hmm. I suppose what I've not proven is what I could do for people as a package, as opposed to let's just do it this way, because for the 3 years, this is the way I've been doing it, and that feels comfortable, but it doesn't necessarily feel aligned.
I guess so. How different is it than, I guess, being an employee, for sort of saying, I'm going to get you these outcomes for this amount of money, but you just, the price tag has got nothing to do with time?
I suppose the difference, I mean, I don't feel like an employee now, but I feel like I'm creating an employed structure.
Yeah.
But there is no real difference, is there? It's just, when you're employed, you're creating outcomes. Mm-hmm. And you happen to receive a salary regardless of the outcome, I suppose. But
well, as I said, regardless of the outcome, but you sell the outcome.
Yeah. Well, the outcome is I will do this job that you're employing me to do, isn't it? So
yeah. So it's sort of like the story of it's probably quite cheesy, actually. Probably the one of the washing machine repair guy, where he fixes the washing machine in sort of like 10 minutes, but charges them £300. And they say that's ridiculous, right? And he says, well, no, so you're not paying for the 10 minutes it took me to fix it. You're paying for the fact that I knew how to fix it in 10 minutes.
Yes.
That's what you're paying for.
Yes. And I can feel into that. I can, because that does resonate, and there isn't really so I suppose there isn't really concern around the rate that I charge. And there's been a good 16, 17 years of corporate business experience that I'm bringing to everything that I deliver for the outcomes. I think it's all in here. This is kind of a problem I might be making for myself that might not exist.
It's often the case, isn't it? Yes. I get a sense that works best when people are selling outcomes from an expert.
Yes.
Rather than selling time from somebody that could do any
old thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it sounds like the story you're telling about what you do needs to change as well. What do you think?
I do. Yes. That resonated a lot. Yes.
What resonated?
That it's the buying from an expert, and I bring an awful lot of expertise, and I don't allow myself to think like that enough, I don't think.
Yeah. What occurs to me, do you know when people are setting up businesses, there tends to be an entrepreneurial element that's needed.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to be a level of sort of like expertise of whatever it is that you're doing. If you're a painter and decorator, you've got to have some expertise at painting and whatnot. But then there also needs to be an element of managerial aspects.
Yes.
And what I see is that most people don't have all three of those things, me included. I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not so good at. And it seems to me that one of the things that you might have something to offer there is to cover one of those bases for people that don't have those skills.
Yes. That feels good, because I like the filling the gap to help somebody do what they want to do and their outcome that they want. That's why I do this. That's why I set up my business, because that's why I went into HR, because there's always been a quite an intrinsic appetite to serve, be of service, to be of help, to support, to work out, to fix, and then build. So there's probably a million different career paths I could have picked in that to do all of those things. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to do that on my own terms, which this definitely does give me, but I'm just so at risk of creating, like I said, like this shoebox, this 9-to-5 job, and not sitting in I am the expert and that's the outcome that people are paying for, is for me to be the expert in this area, and that's why you've come to me, because you're either not the expert in that area or you don't want to be, and you've got other things that you want to be focusing your energy on. Mm-hmm. That's the space I feel. So I think there's definitely something there I can feel into that more and sit with that a bit more. Because I think that will ultimately help with the goal issue, in that, am I looking to remodel the business because I feel like that's the up leveling, that's the next thing to do? Is that going to help me hit that goal, or am I still going to get to that goal, but actually I need to feel happier and in a happier place and reframe how I'm feeling about what I'm actually doing?
How will you know which one?
I don't know. How will I know which one?
If you was to guess, what do you get a sense of?
The second one feels, I was going to say better, but I might be meaning more comfortable, but more comfortable doesn't necessarily mean the right thing to do. I think getting to a point where I feel more clear about how I feel about wanting to remodel and why, and sit with the feelings behind it. I'm quite feeling driven, and I tend to know. So if I get that gut punch, I kind of know I'm on the right track or wrong track.
So what would the feeling be like? What could you describe it for us if you'd absolutely got this nailed? You know, you got the right sort of life happening for you with the right sort of clients doing the right sort of work for the right sort of money. How would you know? How would you know?
How do I know? So I think I'm almost there. It's just I think how I'm structuring it, I guess, or how I'm not structuring it, or not setting the boundaries around and protecting the things I want to do and allowing space and time for that, because there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of brain ache, but good brain ache. There's loads of learning, there's loads of variety, and all of those things feel really, really good. And I suppose what I'm not making space for is the other stuff outside of the work type things that make me feel good. Do you know what I mean? So then there's filling a lot of time with the work type things that make me feel good. And then that's taking up a lot of time. And then it's at risk of feeling like JOB.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Okay. Let me share with you another cheesy story.
Okay.
So it's about filling a jar the most effective way. So you're filling it with sort of like stones and pebbles and whatnot. And the most effective way is to put all the big things in first and then work down to the smaller bits and right to the point where you can get some sand and give it a shake. Now, the big things are the things which are really missing in your life.
Yeah.
You need to put them in the jar first. That jar is your calendar.
Yep.
And then don't goof with your calendar.
Yes.
Put those things in first.
Yep.
And then everything else has to fit around it.
And the guilt of doing that.
Whoa. Why are you feeling guilty about it?
That's a common theme for me. Yeah, that's a kind of putting myself first. So those big things are the things that are missing that I want, which is there's a list of things that I want that are missing that I want to add into the goals I want to get to. So those things are very all about me. Mm-hmm. And that feels a bit selfish, which makes me feel a bit guilty.
Okay. So looking after yourself and doing things for you, things that give you energy and help you do things better for other people because you've got more energy, makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you expect to do your best work for people if you're not your best self?
I know. And this also adds to the guilt because then it feels like a disservice because I'm not at like 150% Hazel that I could be because there's a bit of me missing.
So if you know that, would it be okay for you to act like you know it as well?
That's the bit that is going to take some practice.
It seems to me that if you're feeling guilty, the only way that you can really feel guilt is because you've got some sort of idea about what you should be doing and what the right thing is to do. Because without that, you couldn't really feel guilt. That's what it sort of sounds like to me, does guilt. Do you know, I have an idea.
Yeah.
So what's the idea that you think you should be doing or should be being or something like that?
The shoulds. I hate the shoulds. It's a bit of a pecking order thing. So I should be doing everything other than what I am doing, which is the thing for me. and that could be the washing up, or work, or insert blank.
And who said that you should?
Me. Me.
Well, if it's you that's telling you that you should, could you tell yourself that you should be doing something else?
Yes.
Well,
I know I can. Yes.
So what would you need to know for sure for you to be completely and utterly happy with this now?
But it's safe, that it doesn't make me a bad person, doesn't make me selfish. Yeah, those three.
So up until now, you're saying that you've been thinking that looking after yourself makes you a bad person and selfish. And that, okay. Where do you think that comes from? That sounds quite made up to me.
No, it's not.
No, I know you're telling yourself,
but
the fact that you believe that it makes you a bad person sounds, sounds constructed. It sounds like you've decided at some point in the past that that's what that means.
And yet I don't apply that to everyone else.
Oh, that's
so I don't apply the same judgment to anyone else other than me. And I've been, through my HR career, many a time coaching and advising people to look after their self-care, to put themselves first, to take their breaks, to do this, to do that, and painfully watching people not, and then the residual burnout and the whatever happens to them at the end of it. And it's only a judgment I apply to myself. So I'm the first to kind of champion, like a friend going off swimming, like at 10 a.m, like, yes, go, it's great, the pool will be quiet, go, it'll be amazing, you'll feel great after. But I haven't allowed myself the same permission, because I know that if I go out at 10 o'clock and walk the dogs when it's quieter and there's no dogs, and it'll be lovely, and sun will be shining, the birds will be singing, I'll come back and feel amazing. There's still this little bit of niggle here going, no, you shouldn't be doing that.
So why have you not been applying the same level of consideration for yourself as you have for others until now?
No, I guess it's been like that for a really long time. It's more comfortable, so it feels safer by carrying on doing what I have been doing than the discomfort of the guilt.
What are you afraid would happen if you allowed yourself?
Nothing's going. I know on a logical level, I know nothing's going to happen. Like, the world's not going to cave in. Stuff still gets done, and it's, if everything's been delivered that needs to be delivered. It doesn't matter that the washing up's there. It doesn't matter that the washing needs doing. The washing up will be back. The washing will be back. You can do it.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere.
Not going to go anywhere. It's just going to come back again. So
or maybe it will go somewhere. Maybe somebody else will do it.
Somebody else could do it. I don't even do the washing up. I just sit there feeling guilty about the washing up needing doing, and then not doing that either. Steve does the washing up. I don't even do the washing up. God. Yeah. Sorry, I got a bit off track there, didn't I?
That's okay. So what would need to be true for you to just be completely and utterly okay to know that you need time to charge, to think, for you to be your best self, and for that to be okay to put that in your calendar first and just live like that? What would need to be true? What would you need to realize?
Well, on the logical level, I know that if I don't, the end result will be not working at my best, not living the best life that I wanted to live, being at risk of burnout, and just not being fulfilled, you know. So there's like half fulfillment, and then there's a whole another half that's like entirely missing, and I'm putting a lot of eggs in this basket for fulfillment. And that is at risk of, you know, taking over even more. And then, you know, that can't, you know, the business can't be my only source of fulfillment, joy, excitement, inspiration. But there's a lot of use to sitting in that space where I'm not doing the things I want to do instead. And I think that, you know, through corporate career, there was a lot of not having any choice because under-resourced, huge deadlines, so much to do, you know, plate spinning, you know, constant, you know, you remember what it was like. And I guess that started really early on in my career, and that was the norm straight away. And then it just got different levels of hideous plate spinning and overwork and
visual corporate experiences.
Yes, you know, there was no 9 to 5. It was like 8 till 10. You know, it was, and that was a really, really long time. And I suppose, you know, there could be a little bit in there that it wasn't necessarily appreciated in the way I wanted it to be appreciated, but the people who were at the end of what I was doing appreciated it, if that makes sense. So there was a bit of a game there because, you know, it felt good to deliver what needed to be delivered. So yeah, I suppose there's been a lot of operating like that for a long time, and then it's a bit scary having the freedom to not have to do that anymore when that was usual and normal. And now I kind of have this opportunity to do what I want, when I want, how I want to do it. And I feel like I'm trying to shoehorn myself back into that because that was safe and I know what that was like, even though it was hideous.
Yeah, it's familiar.
It's familiar. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I was wondering, do you think it would be okay for you to know that feeling of it being unfamiliar is just a feeling, that you know it's safe, and for you to move into that space anyway, knowing that that's just a feeling and that feeling can't hurt you?
But the feelings can hurt you.
How can feelings hurt you?
But it kind of hurts in your stomach, doesn't it? And the, you know, guilt hurts.
Yeah. When I say by that, what I'm really meaning is that feeling is part of the experience that you're sort of having is a generated as part of, you know, your thoughts. Your thoughts are creating those feelings, and that together creates your overall experience.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that you shouldn't be afraid of your experience.
I know. I like the what you said there about the thoughts create the feelings, which then create the experience. Because that feels like there's a bit of control back.
Well,
because I can choose what to do with the thoughts.
Well, the truth is that all of us, every single person on the planet, is only ever living in the feeling of their thinking moment to moment anyway. So that's what's creating our overall experience, and the experience is all we get.
Yeah. How rubbish to make a have the rubbish walks to make a rubbish experience, and you be the catalyst of that. That doesn't feel great, but it also does feel. It also does feel good because I can change that.
Yeah, you can do. You can just move into that space, see that it's not making any difference, and then choose to feel differently now.
Yeah. I might have to start small.
Yeah, that'd be okay. Would that be okay for you?
Yeah, I think small would be okay. Baby steps.
What's the first baby step you could take?
So I have a plan for what I want to do with my Mondays.
Okay.
So I'd like Mondays to be my business day, a learning day. So, because I notoriously hated Mondays. So I want to turn Monday into a positive day and do positive things. So yeah, I want to reframe Monday, bring Monday back into a good day. So there's a few things that I want to do about getting out more. I have a favorite coffee shop. I just have this really nice vision of getting a coffee, sitting outside, having a little listen to a podcast in the sun, have my coffee, walk back, feel really good, make some plans, get some inspiration. And then I've got some business stuff, sort of client delivery stuff to do later on a Monday afternoon. And then I just kind of feel how nice that would feel to like go into that after having that experience and not feel Monday-ish. Yeah. So that doesn't feel too like big or skivey. Do you know? Go for a skive on a Monday.
How do you imagine the rest of your week going after you've had a wonderful Monday like that?
I'd like it to feel it would carry me.
Yeah.
So, the weekend can be really about, although, if I can't the whole week, but like this, I've just shoehorned myself again, haven't I, by saying the weekend could be this. So Saturdays are kind of like protect with my life. That is the day where we reset, we do as much or as little as we want to do together. And then Sundays are kind of free for all. So that could be like house stuff, work stuff, business stuff, whatever happens on a Sunday. And then, like I said, Monday-ish comes, and then Tuesday's like, yay, it's Tuesday now, Monday's done. So what I'd really like is Monday to feel like an extension of the weekend, but a inspiration, light, carry me through with that feeling for the rest of the week. And not feel like, oh, good, Friday's come. It's just like, oh, that was a great week.
Yeah. Do you know what made me think about when you were telling me that? I thought, it sounds like a motor racing pit stop.
Yes.
Where it's sort of like you stop at the pit stop and you get your brakes and your oil checked and all that sort of stuff. And then you carry on again.
Yes.
And that happens all the time in motor racing, because they know if they don't do that, then they don't win the race.
It's a good analogy because I like F1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that be okay for you to see that this is your pit stop, getting you ready
for stop? Yes, I like that. That feels good. Because if they don't do it, they don't make it to the end.
Yeah.
Not only do they not win, they just don't get round. So, and if they don't do it, they're at risk of crashing. And I definitely don't want to crash.
Definitely not. That does not sound like a good plan. And it seems to me that, without looking after ourselves, doing the things which give us energy and prepare us, we might crash.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't serve us or any of our clients either.
And how alone am I in this feeling?
About feeling guilty about looking after yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you're on your own by any stretch of the
Okay, good.
imagination.
Okay.
I don't think that. See, the thing is, I think we've been indoctrinated into this way of thinking, of what success looks like, and I think our parents, grew up in a world and they told us what they thought the world was like. And then we went to school and then it was reaffirmed. And then we went into the world of work and it was reaffirmed. So we're sort of going on as if that's how we think the world really is. But it's really made up, all that stuff. It was a solution to a problem, that we had 250 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Still acting as if it's the right thing to do. We don't need to do that. It's sort of preparing us to be a worker in a mill.
Yeah. And I set up my business to get out the mill.
Yeah, and if anything, you're the
create
mill
a new
owner.
mill.
Yeah, you're the mill owner now.
Yes.
But you're still working, operating like a worker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think part of that is, to realize that you're free to work however you want to work.
With my definition of success.
100%.
So that's a big thing, because that's been unpicked over the last year in what I thought I should be striving for, because that's what everyone thinks you should be striving for. So 6-figure this, mulberry bag that, turn left on the plane. And I actually don't care about any of that at all. Actually, somebody wanted to give me a mulberry bag, I wouldn't say no, but that's not why. That doesn't mean successful for me anymore. And it did when I was in a corporate environment. It really, those kind of things were really important to me because they were important to everyone else around me. And it was all really competitive and hideous, and comparing and shaming, and I don't have 15 mulberry bags and I'm at the bottom of the salary spreadsheet, and really, really horrible. And another reason why I wanted to set up the business was to not be surrounded in that environment, and to try and work out what success does for me, and it isn't that.
Yeah,
that's been quite hard to get to that point.
It isn't. Success is really is that feeling. It's something internal. It's not an external stuff. The stuff of success is not the same as the sort of like the feeling and the experience of success, and it's deeply personal. But when you sort of get in a group, you kind of get that group thing going on, and the loudest, most assertive person in the group is sort of setting the sort of the standard or the level or the blueprint of what good looks like or success looks like. And that need to fit in drives you to sort of do the same. It takes a lot of strength. So you found the strength to start up your own business.
Yes.
So I wonder if you can find it within you to find the strength to take Mondays for yourself as well.
I'll start with half a Monday.
It sounds like a wonderful start.
That's a good start.
It is. It is. Do you know, one of the things that really occurs to me about success and taking time for yourself and all that is that you can always get more money. You can always get a mulberry bag. You can always get another client. But the thing is that we're not making any more of for each of us is time.
Yeah.
It's the great equalizer is time.
Yeah.
And I think that was you got to take it.
Yeah. I definitely think they're not wanting the stuff to be the marker of success. I'm surrounded by a lot of stuff. Like there is a lot of stuff, and like from being bereaved, and I've got other people's stuff, right? So stuff to me, after all of the bereavements, is just stuff that other people end up with in their house, right? So your prized mulberry bag ends up being in someone else's house as a, you know, sentimental thing that that person now can't get rid of because, oh look, it's here and they didn't particularly want it, but you know, here it is. So I don't
owns you.
put in
The stuff owns you.
Yeah, the stuff owns you. And I'm like, I didn't want any of this stuff in the first place, and now all the stuff's here. So stuff for me doesn't feel successful. It's just things that other people need to sort out when you're not there anymore. So that was really strengthening for me, because that completely eradicated the comparison of things and needing things and doing this and doing that. And that was a really strong, I don't want things, I want experience.
Yeah, very much. I like that.
I need to go and allow myself to experience it.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing to be feeling guilty about, really, because it's your version of success. It's life on your terms. Really. You're the only one that really gets to judge, you know, your life, you know.
I don't want at the end of it to be surrounded by just stuff.
That's right. Yeah. There's a book, I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it. She was talking to people having palliative care, and the top regret, I think it's the top regret of the dying, I think the book is, you know, is not living a life true to the self.
Yeah.
That was the top regret.
You only get one.
Yeah.
That we know of.
That we know of.
That we know of, yeah. Yeah. So it's, yeah. So my goal now, my outcome, is I'm going to make space on a Monday, and I'm going to get my nice coffee, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to sit outside with it first and then really enjoy it, and then come back and feel uplifted, and I'm not going to feel guilty, because that's not something to feel guilty about anyway, is it?
No.
Feel guilty about mugging someone or something, but you don't feel guilty about going to get a coffee.
No.
No. Stupid.
No, yeah, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I'm excited for Mondays.
Awesome. You'll let me know how you get on Monday?
I will in the group.
On Tuesday. Let me know on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, true.
Are we good for now then?
I think so, yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, I'm going to stop recording now then. I'll see you soon.